Well, hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. My name is Scott Pinyard. I am the head coach here at This Naked Mind, and I am live today to talk about some stuff I've been thinking about, just like I am almost every Sunday. I'm pretty consistent. I try to do it every Sunday. Am here and I want to talk about something bigger. I'll explain what that means in a second. First, I want to invite you to say hello, send me some questions, whatever you want to talk about. And I'll have some time after I get through what I want to talk about today to talk about your stuff. I am live a little earlier than usual today. It's a big day for our friends in England and me too. There's a big football match happening in about 45 minutes, so I thought, why not? I have a lot of you who watch this who are in England. Why not go a little early so we can so I can talk to you guys and you can see this match. You don't have to choose between the two. So here I am. I want to talk about something bigger, but first, I have a question for you. Have you ever asked yourself if you're an alcoholic? Have you ever said to yourself, like, man, am I an alcoholic? Do I fall in that category? Have you ever Googled, am I an alcoholic? I have too, yes, and I've been there for a long time. And one of the things that we have put together is a guide to this very difficult and somewhat thorny question. So I want to give it to you guys for free. So all you need to do is head on over to alcoholictruth.com. That's alcoholictruth.com. The link is right there in the description to the video. It can help you answer this really sticky question of, am I an alcoholic? I will tell you this, what you may find, well, what you will find will very, very likely surprise you. I know I was super surprised when I started doing this research myself. So head on over to alcoholictruth.com. You can download our free ebook, Am I an Alcoholic? If that question is rolling around in your head, this can help you so much. So again, that's alcoholictruth.com. Okay, let's talk about something bigger. Now, I'm going to tell you a story to start all of this off. It was something that happened to me actually just this morning. I got up, I had an alarm set on my phone so I could go watch the live stream of something called Virgin Galactic. I don't know how many of you might know about that, but Richard Branson, who owns, Virgin Airlines and all of that, that incredible sort of entrepreneurial guy, started this company called Virgin Galactic with the goal of providing space travel to normal people like you and me. Now, it's going to be very expensive at first. Anyway, I have been so fascinated and interested in space and space exploration for a long time. So when I found out this launch was happening, I set an alarm on my phone to go off this morning to just remind me. It was launching. It was supposed to be like 9:30, 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern time. I'm in Eastern time in the States. So my alarm goes off and I start watching, and it was delayed as it normally was, and then eventually I saw it. Eventually I saw this crazy contraptions. I'm not going to describe the whole thing. If you're interested, which I highly recommend, go just Google Virgin Galactic. You can see a video of the whole thing. But I watched this thing with Richard Branson, by the way, on the craft. I watched this thing take off, and it goes on this super long flight. And when it does, is it circles around for a while it's getting higher and higher. And it looks like two planes connected at the wing with a third plane in the middle. That third plane, that's the space plane. It's so cool to say space plane. And this is going somewhere, I promise. Right? So this space plane is connected right in between those two. And when they got to about 50,000 feet, that space plane dropped. And then you see a rocket come on, and it just shoots up. And the space plane went out of Earth's atmosphere. It went into outer space. And I'm watching this, and this is the first time that this sort of crew is on this plane. This is like it is a virgin voyage, if you will. And the owner of all of this, the guy who has funded it, is right there on the plane. And so you watch it go up, and it goes into space, and then they're weightless for a while. And there's cameras that are showing you the views of back down here on Earth. And then eventually it crests and it comes back down, and it goes on this glide pattern. And it goes this glide pattern and eventually lands, actually, just like a regular airplane that we're all used to. While I'm watching this, I am crying. Like, I just am overcome with this feeling, with this emotion of just awe and amazement. And I don't even know how to even fully describe it, to be honest with you. And while I'm here, while I'm sitting there and I'm watching this thing and I'm feeling these emotions, it dawns on me, this is something bigger, right? For me, and this is super nerdy, and I admit it, but for me, space exploration, humans using our brains and our knowledge of the natural world to leave this world, to explore out there. Oh my God, it just hits me. It hits me. I'm emotional just talking about it. And this something bigger that I'm connected to, which, by the way, I have nothing to do with Virgin Galactic. I have nothing to do with space travel. I'm just interested in it and have been for a long time. But I was thinking about it, later in the day as I was getting ready for this live, and I realized that for me is something bigger. So when I went to quit drinking, one of the first places I went to, like a lot of us do, is AA. And AA has a lot of great stuff in it, and I don't mean to knock it at all, but it just wasn't for me. And one of those reasons was this idea of a higher power. Like, it was very hard for me to get my mind around, especially with where, what I believed and what I felt at the time. And I hear that from a lot of people. I hear that from a lot of people, like, oh, I don't know how to connect with this thing. I don't know how to let go and not be angry, and so many other comments about this idea of a higher power, something bigger than us. But this morning when I was watching the space flight, I started to understand it from a new place, right? From a new perspective. And that perspective was this. That perspective was, man, I feel connected to something so much bigger than me. And I am only connected to that thing by the virtue that I am a human. And it's the human race that is doing some amazing stuff, that is building these incredible spaceships, being able to do these incredible, amazing things. And I'm one of them. And to me, that's moving. To me, that being part of humanity, which has, learned about the natural world, learned how to build our own worlds, and now is learning how to move beyond that, that is so massively moving to me. And it's something bigger than me. And when I was thinking about it, I realized that something that happens to all of us on this alcohol journey is our world gets very small, right? We have a hard time seeing and connecting with these things that are bigger than us. Maybe for you it's space, maybe for you it's sports or country or religion or spirituality, maybe it's family. I don't know what that thing is for you. But there is a thing for all of us. And what happens when we go struggle with changing our drinking and feel like we are so stuck is our worldview shrinks, right? And as it shrinks, all we feel and experience and engage with, yes, we can do hard things. I like that, Bernadette. And I want to encourage you guys too. Please say hello. Tell me how you're doing. Our worldview shrinks, and the way that we see things, we feel disconnected from these things that are bigger than us. And I'll be honest with you, there is nothing about the space awesomeness that's happening that has anything to do with my journey with alcohol. Except one thing, the way it makes me feel, right? When I watch it, when I engage with it, when I think about it, I feel amazing. I feel connected just by the virtue of the fact that I'm a human. And when I was going through this alcohol journey, I wasn't connecting with that thing, right? I wasn't a part of anything bigger than myself. And yes, it does shrink your world. Exactly, Luann. And what I find over and over when I talk to people who are in our programs, who are doing, doing the work, who feel like they're stuck, is I find over and over that those people, myself included, aren't connecting to those things. And so I want to talk about that today. I want to talk about what these things that are bigger than us can actually mean for us. I want to dig into it a little bit. I also want you guys to tell me, what is that thing for you? What is that thing for you that is a piece of something bigger that you feel, rightly or wrongly. Again, I have zero claim to this other than the fact that I love it and I'm a nerd, right? Like, for me, that's a moving story. The whole sweeping arc of humanity, for me, is massively moving. So I would love to hear what it is for you guys. Let's see. Tracy says, for me, the great outdoors. That's my higher power. I love that. Thank you, Tracy. That's awesome. Roberta said, I've always loved space exploration. I was 11 watching Neil Armstrong first walked on the moon. I cried with awe, happiness, and amazement. Roberta, you know exactly what I'm talking about then, right? And I'll be honest with you, I feel this way about human achievement in general. When I see people do hard things, I'm going to have a totally weird live today. I'll tell you that this morning I watched a billionaire go into space, and last night I watched an MMA fight. I'm a big fan of MMA, and not, hopefully this isn't a spoiler for someone, but one of my favorite fighters was an underdog in a fight, was losing that fight, but was fighting really, really hard, and I got super emotional. Then he broke his leg in the middle of the fight, which is a whole other thing. But my point is this, like, I was getting super emotional watching him do this too, right? It's the fight. It's the struggle for me. It's the story of who we are. It's the ups and the downs. And so watching this morning, feeling connected to that was huge for me. Let's see, Luann says, lack of connections in the first instant fueled the drinking. Yes, I love that. Roberta said, actually, that eventually led me to God and the wonder of our universe. That's amazing, Roberta. These are the things, right? These are the things that aren't required by any stretch of the imagination. But what they do as we're going through this process, and frankly, as we're living our lives, what they do is they put our experience in a whole different perspective, right? It gives us a different view of things. It gives us a different way to see our lives. It's the way that I like to talk about it is ourselves, the world, and our place in it, right? So thinking about these bigger things, connecting to something bigger, whatever that is one of the most fulfilling things that a human being can do. And, you know, I was talking to someone the other day who is in one of our programs, and she was telling me about this experience that she had, where she doesn't have kids, but she was telling me about this experience that she had that was she was just walking by a playground and she saw this little kid like learning how to walk. Like she was there with her mom, or I don't remember all the details, but she goes like, she just stopped in my tracks and I just watched this little girl start to toddle, you know, and I saw her fall over and I saw her get back up and I saw her eventually do it and then just, you know, really started walking long distances. She goes, that was so moving to me because we've all been there, right? So for her, something bigger that makes her part of humanity is kids. And she doesn't even have kids. She wants to have kids someday, but my point is this, right? That's how she connects to something bigger, and that's something that means something to her. And when I asked her, okay, how does this connect with your journey, right? How does this connect with where you're at right now? She's not alcohol-free yet. And what she told me was that in that moment, her problems were everyone's problems, right? In that moment, she wasn't just herself alone struggling not to drink. She was part of a whole group of people. And this whole group of people is moving and growing and changing. And for her, that is extremely moving. It's moving for me too. So I told you this is kind of out there. I want to read, looks like there's a couple of comments here. Let's see. Donna says travel, new and different experiences. I love it. That's so good. Oh, Tamsin, same thing. Travel, new places, people, and things. I totally get it. So what I want to sort of wrap up with here, and this is a little bit of a short one, and I want to please encourage you to drop some more questions or anything while I finalize talking. The reason that being connected to something bigger makes such a huge difference is this, right? You are not alone. And so much of this journey, so much of the power that alcohol has over all of us is keeping us alone. It's making us feel like we are alone. And the good news is there's at least one thing that's stronger than the power that alcohol has over our lives, and that is something bigger than us, right? That is whatever that something is for you. Again, it could be anything, You know, it could be, for a lot of people, it's religion or spirituality. For a lot of people, it's, you know, country, or I mentioned sports. There's some other examples coming in, which I'll read in a second. Once you can tap into that and just connect with it, and it's, I'm not even saying doing it for guidance, I'm not even saying doing it for growth, although if that's what works for you, that's what works for you. But just recognizing that, realizing that you are not alone, that you are part of a whole community, of a whole species, of a whole planet, and that we're on this journey together. Whatever it is that makes you feel that way is something that you can go to when you are feeling down. It's something that you can connect with when you are feeling alone, when you are feeling stuck. These things, right? All of these things, and whatever your something bigger is, that means something to you. And the last piece about this that I recognize is I, you know, I was thinking about it. I was driving to the hardware store earlier, thinking about this exact topic, this exact idea. And I remember back on my alcohol journey, there was a day where I realized I I just haven't felt much. I just haven't felt much. And you know, I mean, I had feelings, but they definitely seemed numb. And we talk about this in the alcohol experiment, how we try to numb the lows, but we actually numb everything. And I, in having that thought, just had realized, man, like things are, I've shrunk. That's how I said it. I've shrunk. And so I got home and I was thinking to myself, like, what is it? What means something to me? And I got out a book by Neil deGrasse Tyson, if any of you know who he is. Um, that was it. Within minutes of reading that and feeling that perspective, I was feeling better. So I want to ask you, I want to tell you, if you are feeling stuck, if you are feeling like you are struggling, if you are feeling like, man, I don't know how to change my world, and I am frustrated and I am hurt and I am uninspired and I feel flat. If that's you, connect to something bigger. It has nothing, doesn't have to have anything to do with alcohol. Whatever that is to you, whatever comes up for you when I say something bigger, go get in touch with that. There's going to be time to do the work to go alcohol free. And you're not going to have the space and ability to do that if you are feeling so small. So take that opportunity today. I'm going to read some right here. People are have some comments coming in. I'll give you some examples here. But take this opportunity to connect with something bigger. You will be glad that you did. So Kelly said, music. I'm finally taking up my music again. It takes me to another world. I'm currently playing flute, piccolo, clarinet, and piano at the same time, Kelly. That's impressive. Next, I'm getting back into bass guitar and brand new cello. Knowing that I can do this is huge for me. Kelly, I love that. I can't show you this. They're not, well, no, I can't. Sorry, I'd make a noise. My guitars are like literally right here within arm's reach. And I had the same experience, right? When I quit drinking, like wanting to do it again, it made a huge difference in my world. That's amazing, Kelly. So thank you for sharing that. Catherine says yoga, noticing growth through consistency and learning mindfulness. Yeah, mindfulness is amazing, right? Mindfulness, this idea of paying attention to the present, paying attention to our thoughts, you know, that's huge. You know, it's funny, a lot of people talk about yoga as a thing for them that helps them connect on a different level, that helps them feel more connected, whether it's just to their class or to humanity in general. So I love that, Catherine. Thank you for that example. Bernadette, thank you. I needed to listen to this today. I hope it helps, Bernadette. I know it's kind of out there. By the way, I did this like really without a lot of notes. I just kind of jumped in, but I was feeling it, so I was hoping to communicate it to you guys today. Let's see, Laura says, connection makes a difference. Doing different things to get out of pattern and isolation. Yes, absolutely, right? Being connected to other people, being able to reach out and touch someone or hug someone, vaccination rules, you know, withstanding, right? Being able to have a conversation, being able to feel like a community. You know, one thing, I don't personally go to church, but one thing, you know, I have some close friends who do, and I was actually talking to one of them last night, and you know, what she was telling me was that it's just like this sense of community that, you know, it's not even necessarily for her sometimes about what's said from the pulpit, but it's that feeling of being there and that welcoming place, that sense of connection, that makes all the difference. So I love that, Laura. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Let's see. Um, let's see. Luann, never thought about the bigger connection. Yeah, think about it. What book author? Am I missing? I might be missing a comment. If I'm missing a comment, someone tell me. Um, yeah, I don't see a comment about a book. I'm happy to talk a little bit about it. If I mentioned it, and it got left, I'll be happy to sort of fill in the gaps. So let's see. Kelly's comment afforded me to breathe as a true breath for the first time today. I may just rent a cello as I used to play. Oh, Bernadette, I love that. I totally love that. Lisa, hello, day 588. Lisa, that's amazing. Congratulations on that. I love this Naked Mind. So do I. So do I. So, in summary, to kind of wrap this up, it's a very simple idea. Neil deGrasse Tyson. Yes, thank you. I know I mentioned a book. Let's see. There's a few. Astrophysics for People in a Hurry is a great book. Let me make sure that's the title. So any of you who might also be, Astrophysics for People in a Hurry by Neil deGrasse Tyson is a fantastic book. I'll just drop, this was the book that I was talking about. I'll drop the book in there. There you go. Anyway, Neil deGrasse Tyson met and trained with Carl Sagan, if any of you know him. We're going way nerd today, so I apologize for this. But he writes very movingly for lay people about science and about the universe and about astrophysics, and it is so incredible. So anyway, bigger connection. Oh man, yes, Star Talk is fun too. The podcast, totally agree. This may sound silly, but being with my dog who gives me I love that. Oh, I love that so much, Donna. That's so great. Being with my dog who gives me unconditional love. She loves people and have open conversations and connections with so many people. That's your something bigger. I love it. I love it so much. I mean, this is what I say too. You know, like I was trying to think before all of this, before my live, how, like what would other people's somethings bigger be? And, I gave you some ideas, but I love these ideas too. And that didn't even dawn on me, Donna, that our dogs, that our pets could be something bigger. And I love it. Let's see, Luann says, I am new to your live, but you may be my first bigger connection. I love that, Luann. Well, that makes me happy. Tracy got to see Neil deGrasse Tyson at her daughter's graduation. That's so cool. I got to see him live in Boston when he was on a tour. It was a tour that he did about movies and space. He's very funny. Anyway, so let me, for real, I'll wrap it up this time. When we are on this journey where we are trying so hard to find something to hold on to, when we feel stuck, when we feel like I don't know how to move forward with this journey with alcohol, when our thoughts and emotions turn inward, when all we can think of and feel is the pain of where we're at, connecting to something bigger, not for a hand, not for anything other than the experience of it, can remind us that we're not alone. It can remind us that we are part of something bigger. Even if you live alone and work alone, even if you don't talk to another soul every single day, you are still part of the human community. And whatever it takes to remind yourself of that can be a massive boost to your journey. So if you find yourself feeling that way today or any day, if you find yourself feeling disconnected, stuck, alone, afraid, take a minute and ask yourself this question: what is something bigger that I can connect to? Because when you're able to do that in whatever way works for you, for me, it was literally watching a live stream in my underwear and crying this morning. Whatever it might be for you, do it. Give yourself that gift. You are not alone. And it doesn't matter how many times you hear me say it or Annie say it. when you can connect with that something bigger for yourself, you can make a massive difference in your own journey. So that is what I had to say today. Thank you for bearing with me as I sort of stumbled through it. Like I said, I was just trying to speak from the heart here. So I hope this was enjoyable for you. Tell me in the comments if it was helpful, if it was enjoyable. Tell me if you're watching this on replay what your something bigger is. I want to hear from you. And if you know someone who might need to hear this message today, share this, tag them in it, let them see it too. Okay, everybody, I'm just about to go. Before I do, I want to remind you that we have a free guide. If you are interested, if you have ever gone and opened up your internet browser and searched, am I an alcoholic? If you've done it like me in a private browser so no one can see what you searched, if that question makes you scared, if that question makes you feel bad, I implore you to go to alcoholictruth.com. That's Alcoholic Truth. Again, the link is in the description of this video. Alcoholictruth.com. We have a free ebook for you called Am I an Alcoholic that lays all of it out for you. We will give you the answer. That answer is amazingly surprising. I know when I learned this, the stuff that's in this guide, it made a huge difference in my journey. So head on over to alcoholictruth.com today and get your copy. Thank you all for hanging out with me for half an hour or so today, and I will be back again next Sunday. Take care.